Hey guys, what's up? It's Mack and Jack, and we are doing the Thack Attack number 13? 12.
13?
I don't know.
One of those two.
Yeah, one of those. Chapters 8, 9, and 10. And Jack's feeling a little under the weather,
Yeah.
but he's just coming back
Sorry
out of
guys,
sickness.
it's just the dedication to this video. I just really want to be here right now.
He's got his priorities straight, so...
Yeah. Alright, so chapter 8. Now, it starts off talking about Betty Higdon. And as we both know, she doesn't like charity, and we'll see that later on in the chapter. But now, why don't you tell us what this chapter is all about, like the theme, you know?
Okay.
Well, the theme is about he's still chewing his Doritos. I know what it is too, but I just want you to get the word in edgewise.
So basically, it's kind of just we see this recurring death motif, and like you said, how she also kind of doesn't really like charity at all.
Yeah.
To the point that she's willing to die before she'll go to the...
Seriously, on page 500, as she's fleeing the town where the men are talking to her, I think it's making it more dramatic than it really is. I think she's just leaving. But it says that she had looked over her shoulder before turning out of the town and had seen the sign of the White Lion hanging across the road and the fluttering market booths in the old grey church and the little crowd gazing after her, but not attempting to follow her. So a White Lion, obviously Christian, Christ figure.
Kind of makes me think of Aslan from C.S. Lewis. But
boom! I was actually just point that out, man. That's awesome. And then the old grey church obviously is watching her as she leaves, so we can see that there's a foreshadowing that she might die. Excuse me. In this chapter, then she goes. She leaves the town and she decides she's gonna, stoop off for the night and go to bed. But this is where I thought she was gonna die. But
I thought she was gonna drown.
Oh really? Oh, because she went right to the next water, huh? Yeah, that would have been an interesting plot twist. But Charles Dickens does a good job of throwing something in there, and guess who shows up? But Deputy Locke. And now Deputy Locke.
I didn't know this at the time, but in class today we talked about how it's actually Rider Hood.
Yeah.
Which kind of... At first I was
Makes
like,
sense.
oh, and then I was like, yeah, he talks the same way.
Yeah. And he's a jerk too, because Betty Higdon
she's like, I don't want to go to the parish, and he's like, oh, well then you'll have to pay me. So like for the reader,
the parish will take care of you.
Right, and she doesn't want that. Yeah. And so for the reader, it's like, what a jerk face. Yeah. But she's like, yeah, okay, whatever, here's some money. And then we find out Rider Hood gets shot. Not really, but I wanted it to happen. Hopefully that comes up soon.
Yeah, so he's threatened, and Betty Higdon then goes down, and it says, the darkness gone and a face bending down. It cannot be the Beaufort Lady. Now, the Beaufort Lady is a recurring theme, for Lizzie and for Betty and
Bella Wilfer.
And Bella Wilfer, yeah. It's just a women theme throughout the novel, and there's something about a tree.
Yeah. So she sits down at the bottom of the tree, which symbolizes the cross. I think she says that in the book. Yeah. And Lizzie is the Christ figure.
Again, tree, you could go back to the tree of knowledge of good and evil. This chapter is all about death and Christianity and everything religious. So that's chapter 8.
And this is consummated by the final sentence, which Lizzie very softly raised the weather-stained gray head and lifted her as high as heaven. So,
and that's the end of chapter as Betty Higdon dies. When we come back, we'll be back with chapter 9. Thanks so much. All right, welcome back. Again, I'm Jack, and this is Mack, and we are starting off chapter 9 is what we're just going to be discussing right now. Beginning of the chapter talks about Reverend Frank Milby, and Bella Wilfer, and the secretary, and Rokesmith, yeah, and Sloppy, and they're all there, and they're
at the funeral.
they're at the funeral of Betty, and then Lizzie shows up, and it talks about on like the third page of the chapter that both Bella and Rokesmith are very interested in Lizzie, because Rokesmith, as we know, he's John Harmon Jr., and so he obviously wants to know more about the daughter of the person who allegedly killed him, or killed his father. No, killed him, huh?
Yep.
Yeah. And Bella Wilfer is also intrigued by her.
Just because she's curious, you know.
Yeah, because, Lizzie just doesn't pop out of nowhere, and they're like, who are you? Like, we know who you are, but they wanted to know more about her. So they start talking about her. But before that happens, you got it.
Interesting note on page 510. Oh, sorry, I got Doritos.
That's okay, man. We'd like to thank our sponsor, Doritos, Chips, Cool Ranch, and Nacho Cheese. We don't have what's another Doritos? Oh, we don't have the Salsa Verde sponsorship yet.
Or
but,
spicy, any of them.
Yeah, but hopefully we'll get there. We just like to thank you guys. So maybe you give us an extra little shot in the arm. That would be great.
Amazing.
Anyway, page 510 talks about there's a social commentary. Dickens makes a social commentary on
Classic Dickens.
of how women's opinions don't matter. So why don't you read that?
Yeah, I'd love to. Mr. Rokesmith, except for its being a woman's, which indeed you may be, which indeed with you may be a fresh reason for its being worth nothing.
Yeah.
Of Lizzie Hexam.
Yeah. Lizzie Hexam's opinion, yeah. So Bella and Rokesmith both talk about Lizzie. And Rokesmith, we see him kind of crushing on Lizzie a little bit. Mm-hmm. So he's intrigued. But then we learn later, it's a great sentence, you may not have noticed, Miss Wilfer, that she has the same kind of interest in you that you have in her. Just as you are attracted by her by her appearance and manner, she's attracted by yours. Mm-hmm. So we just see a little slip up there, so there may be a love interest there with Rokesmith and Lizzie Hexam. Mm-hmm. So, which would be really weird because Lizzie's dad supposedly killed him, but he's alive. Great job, Dickens.
And then Bella and Lizzie, Rokesmith's like, hey, you should be friends with Lizzie. And so Bella's like, cool. Which, by the way, they're on good terms now again. It's amazing what a lack of communication can do. Because he's like, I thought you weren't like wanting to talk to me. And she's like, I thought you were being like aloof. And he was like, I was just making sure you didn't get the wrong impression of what I was saying.
Yeah. And
so then they're like...
And it's a little awkward because he used to like Bella, and now maybe he's liking Lizzie, so...
I don't know, I think he still likes Bella, man.
You think so?
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the chapter, man.
I guess they talk.
She's like, oh, it's a beautiful night, look at the stars. And he's like, boom. Just watching her face, though, the whole time.
Yeah, that's true.
And so, I don't know, man. Maybe he just likes fine women.
He just gets all the ladies, man.
Mm-hmm. And so, then he's like, become friends with her, and then maybe kind of ask her what, like, her intentions are and the false accusation and stuff. So she finds that stuff out. Then they're good friends.
That's it. Chapter 9.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
Alright.
So, we're on chapter 10. And it's pretty awesome because... Well, not awesome, it's like the opposite. Because Eugene is just a jerk face. And so it starts out, he's trying to get free handouts. And Jenny Wren's like, no, that's not how it works. And you're not going to get free handouts because you know me.
He wants her to make a doll for him.
Right.
For his godniece. Yeah. Godchild.
So it's
She's kind of weirded out. She doesn't believe him.
And so then she gets mad at her child, which is her dad. So Eugene's finally like, whatever, I'm leaving. Well, he uses the excuse that he's like, going to light his cigar. So he's walking back, and then he notices her dad, who it's kind of funny because he's drunk, and so he's terrible at judging distances. So he like keeps trying to
cross the street
like 50 times. And then he goes back to Mortimer Lightwood, and Mortimer's like, dude, get your act together. Be a good person. And then he's like, hey, let's find out where Lizzie's at. And so then they go to Mr. Dahl's and get him slammed.
Which is funny because Dahl's, and they just went and visited Ren, so.
And so then they get Mr. Dahl's plastered to try to find out where she lives.
Yeah.
And it's like he doesn't even care about her, so it's like, why is he doing that?
Yeah, Eugene doesn't even care, so.
But yeah.
That's about it in chapter 10. As they wind down, Eugene and Mortimer Lightwood go back to their apartment, and they sleep, and then Mortimer Lightwood wakes up in the middle of the night, and he's walking around, and he's like, I can't get that side of that fellow's face.
And then Eugene's like, I can.
My mind. He's like, I can, yeah.
And then he goes back to sleep.
So he doesn't even care. So, I mean, there you go. That's monthly number 12. Hold on.
13.
12? 13. Are you sure?
I don't
double check that. Okay. 1 second. 12. You're totally right. Boom. May 1865. Monthly number 13. Apologize for that. Have a great
I think that was a big deal. Wow, you screwed up terribly. Because we care about what monthly number this is.
We do. Well, what if we turn it in wrong? That'd be bad.
That would be bad.
Alright guys, thanks for listening. I'm Jack.
And I'm Mack.
And this is Jack and Max.
Thack and Thack.